Welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I just want to give you a quick update that there is a bit of construction in the background, so if it gets loud, that's all it is. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are doing your weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of October 31st through to November 7th. There was also a storm the other day too, so I'm late uploading, so forgive me for that as well. It cut out some power and the internet. So thanks for sticking with me. We're doing the focus general reading today around loving the self. You'll remember from last week we focused on hidden strengths, and then for a couple of weeks before that we were doing healing, intentional healing readings. And I got a lot of good feedback from that as well, so thanks so much for letting me know how things are improving for you. So with the focus today on loving the self, we'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle for the main spread, and then as always drawing from the other decks, being the Healing with the Angels Oracle and the Medicine cards. So as I said, this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life this week, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So what does Pisces need to know about loving the self this week? All right, so let's just get a little snapshot of what's going on with these cards together. I feel like you are, with regard to loving yourself, I feel like you're setting yourself a little trap here, or there's an ongoing, perhaps even what you might believe is a karmic issue or problem for yourself. But I'm going to suggest that it's not. I'm going to suggest that there's behavior or an attitude or an idea or concept that's just outmoded, outdated. Its time has come and gone. Even if it was a karmic debt, it's been paid. I think now there's just like old behavior that needs to be sort of, set aside or deleted, and then something positive take its place. So it's a really nice week to decide what you're willing to let go of that is absolutely holding you back from something, okay? So as a general reading, whatever you think of or feel when I'm talking about being holding yourself back from something is what we're going to be addressing this week. And yes, with a focus on loving the self, this absolutely has to do with how you feel you deserve something, or what you think you deserve because of something, or what you're talking yourself into or out of here. Loving the self really has nothing to do with anyone else, right? So we can't look at this as though these are external influences here. This is something that's happening really, really deep within you. Can it be subconscious? Maybe, but I'm going to suggest that you know what it is, and not letting go of something. Because another reason some people don't let go of something as well, even though they've outgrown it, or even if they've know that the karmic debt has been paid off, for example, and this happens sign notwithstanding, okay? This is just what some individuals do when they're unable to let go, is that we attach ourselves to thoughts, opinions, or behaviors because we perceive we're getting something positive or something that we think we need from it, that we can't get another way. I'm going to say that again. And I'm talking about economics, I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about the workplace, I'm talking about how you feel about yourself, I'm talking about spirituality, I'm talking about health, okay? Imagine someone right now who's been sick for a long time, and all of a sudden they've found out how to get better, but they're purposely not going to do that, right? Or someone who knows how to make themselves well, but purposely doesn't do that, okay? I'm going to suggest that that's an attachment. That's an attachment issue, and all it means is the resistance means that you think you're getting something positive from staying ill, or from staying stuck, or staying mad, whatever that is for you, in a low vibration, whatever that low vibration is. For some reason, you feel like what you're getting from that you cannot get another way, or you can't let go of because you're used to it, or, what'll you do without that? There's almost like there's a really low vibration regarding it's fear-based here, okay? I wouldn't even say hate. I don't think you hate yourself. I think that there's a deservability issue here, and there is a real rejection of doing what you actually, literally taking action in a way that is going to prevent something from bringing you down over and over and over. Again, I'm talking about internal issues. This is about loving yourself. Is it a negative relationship you have with someone else? Maybe, right? That's for you to figure out. However, I'm not talking about the other person in that relationship. We're talking about you in that relationship. It takes two, right? And we can only blame someone else, or we can only blame external factors so much before we have to take a look within and what our motivations are, what we plan to do, and what we're willing to do, and what we believe we deserve. Okay, so let's look at these individually, get an idea of why I would have said that for all these cards together. Here with breathe in your central position. This is a lovely way to go about the week, frankly, I think, in terms of loving the self. If you're serious about letting go of something that doesn't work for you anymore, and you're willing to take action around that, and only you know what that is, or you'll know where to begin looking for how to take action to improve your life, or make things safer, or nicer, or kinder, or healthier for yourself. I think you know what that is, but again, resistance is there. And it's sort of creating a haunting, okay? But it's time to let that go, Pisces. If you want to grow, and if you want to, especially if you want to, challenge yourself to get through something here, you have to trust that you can do this. And the best way to do this week is what being suggested here is to breathe. You need to sit with this. You need to sit alone with this. Can you vent about it? You can, but I feel very strongly that you already have. There's only so much venting you can do about this too before you have to face that darkness, face that demon, face that, that blemish about yourself or within yourself, the problem, whatever it is. You need to sit with this week. This is going to be your ally. You are your best ally, but again, you won't see any action cards here because action can't be taken this week. You have to identify what it is first, okay? And certainly coming to terms with being worthy. Okay, we're looking at issues of self-value and worthiness this week. If you are an individual who does believe in things like karma, there could be an element of believing as though that hasn't been paid off, okay? And this is really holding you back. That's really got to go. It's, if I recall correctly, it was either last week or a couple of weeks previous to that, that this issue was coming up as well, that there was almost like a karmic debt, and there was an attachment to a karmic debt. But I really believe that that's over, and it's time to let that go. But perhaps it's taken so long in your life, or you've built so much of your, say, personality or your even defenses around such a thing that now this has become a part of your daily activity or personality, and now you have to say, okay, it's time to shed that. But now where do I go? And this is what you're going to want to sit with. You want to plan what you want to replace, what isn't working for you anymore, okay? You can't create a void just by saying, I'm not going to think about that anymore. You have to replace it with something better than that, something high vibrational. And again, with the intention being loving the self, that really has to be the focus for you. You really have to say, regardless of what you think of me, or regardless how even someone else thinks you should think about yourself, okay? This is really about you. You need to come to terms with who you are, and you need to learn to love yourself regardless of how other people treat you, and regardless of how other people think you should be treating yourself. Here with why in the influence to the current position, we're looking at motivation. Absolutely. What motivates you? This is where you're really being asked to sit down with this, Pisces, especially if you're ready to let this go. If you're ready to say, you know what, no more. I'm not going to live in this sense of karmic debt or the hamster wheel of situations here, or the hamster wheel of feeling in a bad way, or in a way that you can scare yourself. You want to stop doing that. So what is motivating you? What are you turning to? What are your habits, right? We're looking at ancestral behavior here. Even where do you come from? Where do you come from? What are some of your experiences that would even lead you to believe you weren't worthy, or believe a debt wasn't paid off, or believe this wasn't the right time to begin or to further loving yourself? These are like beliefs create behaviors, right? And if you can change what you believe about yourself, you can really switch up your entire life with practice, okay? With time. It will take time, but you just need to make that decision. You have to make it important enough for yourself. The why factor here. Why would you believe that you weren't worthy? Why would you believe someone else has the final say, etc.? Why would you believe that you need to be constantly beating yourself up for something? Again, I just don't see this as an external thing. If it is, get away from that situation as quickly as possible. If you're the one hurting yourself here, you need to make a vow to stop that. Okay, and you really need to make loving yourself the most important thing for yourself here, because you deserve it. And I think you've been talking yourself out of it for quite some time. Or for whatever reason you find it too difficult. You understand exactly what you need to do, but it's difficult. Or what if you feel, again, with perception, what if you perceive if you move in this way, you'll lose out on something? You won't. You absolutely won't. Okay? This perception is partly what's holding you down, because look at this never-ending story. It's what's going on in your own head. Time is running out. You can't even look at yourself, right? You're getting impatient with yourself, and probably your self-esteem is being battered because of this. And it could even be developing a type of mask. Now you're like pretending in the world, and there's no time for that. And it's also, it's not real. If you can get to the real source of the damage or the trauma or the concern here, you can understand why it's going on, and you can sit with it so that you can name it and learn to face it, because you don't want to keep having a never-ending story here. Something that is circular and go on and on and on. That is, 10-1 Pisces going on within your own head and heart. All right? Here with all that glitters as the general energy to the week, we're looking at taking off a mask of perception. All right? This is what all that glitters isn't gold, is what this card is about. This is really about what you think you're getting. Okay? 100%. And we all do this. Some people call it manipulation. There's conscious and subconscious manipulation. Absolutely, right? But I'm going to suggest that that you suspect you know what this is. What do you think you're getting from a certain behavior, lifestyle, belief system, etc., that in fact isn't true, that you're holding yourself back from growth, personal growth, and self-love. And it's really a decision you need to make here. These golden masks really just represent a sense of perceivability. If you do or say or wear or wear these things or go to these certain places or etc., right? This is how people will treat you, and you think you're getting something from it, and of course you are. What is that worth to you? Does it impede on your self-worth? Is it a higher consciousness value system, or are you just going along to get along? Okay, you need to, in terms of self-love, really surpass this level of what other people think of me and what I think I'm getting by doing and saying these things. Boy, oh boy, and it just occurred to me right now, if this is a relationship, as in a romantic one, okay, you're really confused about it, all right? And it's really, and it's ongoing. I recall your readings from the past quite some time here, and this is if it is a relationship, this is something that's haunting you, and it's really time to put that, you gotta nail it closed. You gotta come to terms with it. You have to shelve that chapter of your life, because it's impeding on your self-worth, and it's impeding on your sense of challenging your own growth. It's going to be very hard to grow from this if you're clinging to it, for whatever reason. Okay? Here with children as well as blessings. Very likely children in your own life could be teaching you, or you could be turning them for a sense of innocence or a sense of childlike behavior, being wondrous, feeling love and joy, even pure acceptance. Generally children and animals accept us for who we are, no matter what we look like, no matter what we've done. If you don't have children in your life, Or if you don't feel that you can be around children at this time, you can certainly look within or challenge yourself to be childlike and be wondrous in this growth pattern here. Maybe it's time to start at the very start with this. Regarding, again here with motivation, who are you? How did you grow up? Why did you learn to believe these things that you believe? Who taught you these things? Very likely something about this began in childhood. So you're going to want to dig deep this week, Pisces, if you want to get to the core of loving the self. And here with blessings, you have what it takes, and you are protected here, okay? Reaching higher vibrational awareness is always higher energy, right? And it's always a blessing, even if it's a struggle. Absolutely, even if it's a struggle, because it's unique to you. It's your story. It's your struggle. And it's also something, even if it is health, mental, spiritual, any type of health issue, I just don't see this as something that can be assisted by a pill or even by a doctor, unless it is something, you need to see a surgeon about, then really go see a surgeon. But, if this is an emotional or psychological issue, look at this with reputation. Holy smokes. Not kidding around here, Pisces. Look at this. What you think you're getting from wearing this public persona, which is a reputation, right? To what you're actually getting, or what you're actually denying yourself by trying to fit in or be everyone's favorite or be liked. We can be liked by the people who are willing to like us for who we are. Your job isn't to make everyone happy either. You might want to consider that. Here again with reputation, absolutely, I think this is 100% what's holding you back, frankly, from getting to the root. Okay, sitting with this, contemplating what are your motivations, how did you grow up, who taught you these things, do you understand how much protection you have in terms of personal growth, why would you feel you're undeserving, and perceived benefits here. Your reputation could be what you need to get at this week. You might even have to begin there. Like, oh yeah, I know it needs to change and I know how to do it and I'm tired of this, and maybe you have all that set up. Now it's just a matter of, this is a fear factor, okay? Your reputation with people, what you perceive you're getting for behaving a certain way, as opposed to when you are your absolute authentic self, what you're gonna get for that. I think that's the challenge this week, is to say, you know what? Whatever my reputation is, it's supposed to change, because you're not supposed to be the same person now that you were 10 years ago or 10 months ago or however long ago. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow. You need to have faith in yourself that you can do this. You need to believe that you're worth it this week, Pisces. I believe you're worth it. And I believe that you have what it takes here. It's just going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of practice to work through this. But trust that you have what it takes. Be patient with yourself, right? If you need to get into your inner child, to calm your inner child, this might be another nice practice for you as well, especially if you've been avoiding inner child work. Really just, especially if this is a trauma or an issue stemming from childhood or from your youth, where no one was there for you, you weren't there for yourself. It's a really nice way to get in touch with that person you were at that stage in your life and really give him or her a lot of love right now, okay? So that is your reading for the week. I really hope this was helpful, and I really hope that you believe that you're worth absolute joy and love and beauty, because I certainly do. So Pisces, if you have a second, please comment below. Let me know how this works out for you. This you can get through this, okay? You can. Just take it slow. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can do that for free. And I want to thank all of my subscribers up until this point. You make every reading worth it. So thank you so much for believing in me and encouraging me to continue doing this work. I love doing this for you, and I plan to do it for the long term. So thank you so much for being with me today. Take excellent care of yourself, Pisces, until I meet you in the next video. Bye for now.